Yo.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys?
Yes.
This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We're back again with your story of this whole saga of Thabo Bester and the rest. And obviously, we keep on updating you based on this on the events that are unfolding. Today, we're not thinking about shooting, but we had to.
Yeah.
So, Emily, take us through at what is going on what is going on, and where are we in terms of this case?
Yeah, for those who've been following us for a while or who are subscribed to the channel for quite a while, who have been subscribed to the channel, know that we don't like covering these kind of topics. We don't. Even me, myself personally, we don't usually do. But this one is related to something that we've already started. So we don't want to skip it. It's a very important link. And yesterday, news broke out that a young man from the Free State who was a Bloemfontein Celtic fan, I mean, somebody's son, I remember recording the video and asking myself, Uguti, when are we going to find out what happened, whose body that bent in Thabo Bester Cell is? And we finally got that identity. You know, we finally got it. And it was somebody's son, a father of two, who has been identified to be that charred body that was bent in Thabo Bester Cell so that he can escape from Mangaung Correctional Facility. Now, he was burned on the 3rd of May 2022 in Cell 35, and the autopsy had said that he had been unalived due to a blunt force trauma to the head 2 days prior to that fire happening in that specific cell. So his deceased body was carried into the correctional facility in a TV stand. We heard that in the parliament hearing, and the young man's name is Katlego Bereng. May he rest in peace, but I don't know if he will rest in peace because the circumstances are very, very difficult.
Hey, it's a sad story that we had to wake up and do. It doesn't make sense why other people would have to go through this. For people to actually have what we may regard as maybe freedom. Which to me doesn't make sense. But anyway, because I still don't get it. Why couldn't he just escape if he wanted to escape?
Do you know?
Without having to go through all this.
According to the police, the DNA tests that were done in the wake of Bester's escape and subsequent arrest linked to the body with the deceased biological mother. So there was a direct match with the biological mother of the deceased. That his name is Katlego Bereng. Police have notified the family, and the SAPS spokesperson Athlenda Mate said that as difficult as this news is, the SAPS is pleased to bring closure to the family. Now, there also was a tweet from Batu Mpolo. And this is what he tweeted, and I quote, "The body that was burned by Thabo Bester in prison was that of his son." And he also said that our very own government is failing them. And he said, "I'm broken," end quote. And that was what started the lead into finding out family members of Katlego Bereng. And it turns out it has been confirmed that he is Katlego Bereng's father. And he also confirmed to News 24 that the family were notified on Friday that the body was that of their son Katlego Bereng. But in the interview with ENCA, he actually said it was confirmed that morning, which was Saturday morning. So he further said, and I quote, "I'm broken. My heart is shattered into a million pieces. I cannot believe it. His mother, Monica, is devastated and she can't speak," end quote. A post on the We Love Bloemfontein Celtic Facebook page had also some extra information in it. I wanted to read it for you guys because I was like, it's very interesting what had been happening in the previous year and we had no idea what was happening. So I'm looking for that post, and I also attached it on the video, the mini video that we have compiled. Now, it said on the post of the Bloemfontein Celtic Facebook branch, let's take this moment to pass our condolences and messages of support to the family of our good brother and leader in Mr. Thabo Bereng Mpholo and his family, who have been looking for his son, Junior, since March 2022. It is unfortunate to report from his wall that the body, which was burned in Mangaung prison, was in fact that of his son. Mudimu atsidise botle balusika le ditsala mo leineng la Kriste. Amen. So God bless everyone, the family and friends, in the name of Christ. Amen. So yeah, that post to me had said that, okay, fine. It sounds like he had disappeared from March 2022. And as Mzansi Reality would also like to send our condolences to the families and friends of Thabo Bereng, and may God comfort them in this difficult time. So far from the information we have collected so far, there's videos that were done on the channel where we had disclosed that he was most probably unalived outside of the facility and his body bent beyond recognition. And I also feel like that was confirmed in the parliament hearing. There was already signs that he had to have been unalived outside of the facility, and he entered the facility deceased, because you can even see from his social media there's no signal of him being a convict. There's also no criminal attachments. We looking at his Facebook profile, you don't see that.
Yeah, it's all about Bloemfontein and even in
and
his
enjoying
page,
and enjoyment with his friends.
He's warning you that you love him. You must know that he's a Bloemfontein Celtic supporter.
There were even calls of God, he would post that God, God is looking out for you, to some of them, and I'm like, yo, yeah, ne? So ENCA got an exclusive interview with Katlego's father, Thabo Bereng Mpholo, and he said that he started to realize that Katlego was no longer on social media. So he couldn't get a hold of him on the phone in April last year. So he says Katlego is a person who liked to post a lot on social media, and going through his Facebook, yes, he did post quite often, more than I. More than most of us who don't engage in social media. So he was like, you know what? He's that guy who would post, and he would always check his post and see how he's doing. And for that month, he didn't post anything, and he couldn't even get a hold of him on his phone. So he was then called, the mother, who was staying alone because Katlego apparently was staying with his grandmother. So he asked Katlego's mom to go, he literally asked Katlego's mom, when last did you see Katlego? And she said that it had been a couple of days. Okay? And then he instructed Katlego to go to Katlego's grandmother just to see if Katlego is okay. And when she got there, the grandmother said that she had not seen nor heard from Katlego in a month and a few days. So by the time the father was checking on him, it had already been April 2022, allegedly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know that there are people who are going to ask if the grandmother was not seeing Katlego for that much, what stopped the grandmother from communicating that to everyone?
To the parents.
But I think in this case, you have to look at this in a situation that there are three people that Katlego could have been at. There's a father, there's a mother who's also staying on her own, and there's a grandmother. So,
and I think the father is based in Gauteng.
In Gauteng, yes. Yeah, so it could be that maybe he was there, and probably my thinking is that he would do that. He would frequently maybe visit these people. Maybe there was that loophole between the grandmother and the mother and the father. So just to answer those things and let me say, let us look past them and let's continue.
For now. Because even I have a brother and he would disappear for a month or so. I have a brother who would do that and then come back and he's fine and we are like relieved, Yeah. So I would like for us to pause that for now. It for now. So he then asked her to go open a missing persons case at the police station, of which she did. Nothing has been happening since April last year, up until she received a phone call last week from the police telling her that they are going to do a DNA test, even though they did not inform her which body they'd be testing against, okay? So a few days later, she received another phone call from Pretoria Forensics saying the tests were not properly done. And they're not coming to do further. They are now coming to do further tests. So on Friday, the Bloemfontein police said that they'd be coming to deliver the news to her, and they arrived at around 1500 hours in the afternoon. And they arrived and told the mother and the grandmother that the DNA was positive and not telling them which body it was. On Saturday morning, they told them that the DNA was conducted against the body of Thabo Bester, and the police said his son collapsed in town. They took him to the hospital, and when he got to the hospital, they discovered that he doesn't have enough blood, and then he lost his life. Then they took him to the government mortuary. As to how the body left the government mortuary, they don't know. Katlego's father said that he doesn't believe that information. His concerns are that the police are giving them the impression that Katlego had been roaming the streets of Bloemfontein. And Katlego's half-brother, who also works in Bloemfontein, has been looking for him as well. He doesn't believe that his son collapsed and was taken to the hospital. There is more to it, he said. They said they don't know where the body is, but on Monday, they will be going to the police station to get full details. They have not yet answered with the funeral, or they have not yet started with the funeral arrangements and laying the body to rest. He doesn't believe that his son had a relationship with either Thabo Bester and or Dr. Nandipha. It's completely separate, he said. He also said that his son was a soccer fanatic, so he could not hang around any other people except soccer-loving people. And Katlego was supposed to turn 32 on the 18th of May. He was born in 1991. They're very shocked, and this is mentally and spiritually draining. Katlego's mother cannot even speak apparently she speaks through her younger sister. That's how much in shock she is. Katlego was a fun-loving person, according to his father, and making friends in soccer. That's usually his, and you could even see with the Facebook, his social circle mostly composed of people that loved soccer, Bloemfontein Celtics to be specific. And he has 2 kids, a son and a daughter. Now, regarding this tweet that the government has failed them, this is what he said. He said that he has views because from what they see, his view is that from what they see, from when they reported him missing and the information that they are getting that he collapsed in town, it's not true. And how did Thabo Bester get a hold of his son's body if he was in a government mortuary? The mother and grandmother and other family members in Bloemfontein visited several mortuaries to look for him after reporting him missing. There was no sign of him in any of the mortuaries. But why now? He needs the truth and nothing but the truth on Monday morning. So Monday morning is when he will be in Bloemfontein, and hopefully he can get answers to some of these questions that he has.
Well, you see, my worry, Emil, is that let us look at this thing. This guy fainted and he was taken to public mortuary. So
not there. He started at the hospital first.
And then was taken to public mortuary. And I would assume without a name. Because if you had a name, why would you keep someone there for that long?
Not calling or contacting next of kin or finding out his family
so
members.
that they can arrange the funeral and so forth. So this person was like an unknown person in a sense.
Yes.
Well, And then this person is stolen. Funny enough, the body is stolen and taken to a hospital. There is no way that you can just steal a random body.
No, the events that have actually taken place is that Dr. Nandipha claimed 3 bodies. Amongst those 3 bodies, the final body that she claimed is that of Katlego.
That's what they are telling us.
That's what they're telling us.
And then the name TK combined with Katlego.
Guys, for more context, Thabo Bester, he used a bunch of aliases. The most prominent one that he used in 2022 was that of TK Nkwana. However, he had also included Katlego, the name Katlego, in this TK Nkwana alias. This TK Nkwana alias has been using it before, even in 2011, before he got convicted, right?
Yeah.
But then, in 2022, the most interesting thing happened. He added Katlego to this TK Nkwana alias. So he was going by the name TK Katlego Nkwana.
So if this person was already dead when let's assume when they took him from wherever they took him, how did this guy came across the name Katlego at the right time, which is 2022?
It's like a subliminal
and
stuff.
If the police knew the name of a guy, why didn't they make means to get this family, the family of the guy?
Is it a coincidence that he would just randomly pick Katlego in 2022?
After a month of disappearing.
It's too much of a coincidence.
Yeah, it's too much of a coincidence.
And you also remember that in one of the previous videos, we had shared and reported that Times Live had actually said that Dr. Nandipha had succeeded in cremating the body.
Which now begs the question of when they are saying they are going to fetch a body or they are going to hear about the body, don't they know that that was the case?
I don't think the police have told them yet. And on top of that, it would be very nice if Times Live is wrong and we were wrong. That would mean a lot. But right now, I don't trust anything. So we'll hear from on Monday what the family says. And
just a question of that blood, the DNA test. Were they using the same DNA test that was used when they were trying to see if this was Bester and whatnot?
My
Because
suspicion is that
if the body was cremated, I think it shouldn't be existing now for such things.
And considering
unless they saved the
DNA
when they were doing it for the first time.
I'm suspecting that they got the DNA from the autopsy or the facility that did the autopsy.
Okay.
That's my suspicion. But if there's a body, that would be great, because some people are debunking it. They're saying, no, but the body is there. Dr. Nandipha failed. No, but Times Live said that she actually succeeded. She went through the, we reported it.
Let's hope that Times Live is wrong.
Let's hope that they are wrong. And another thing that I also wanted to bring up with regards to that is, yes, I think that perhaps they used the DNA that was collected while the autopsy was being done, because that autopsy was very thorough. I saw a copy of it. It was very detailed. It was done by someone you can tell that, they know what they are doing. They recorded it. So it's on Ground Up if you guys would like to have a look at it. It was thoroughly done, that autopsy. There's a copy of it there. And I am now wondering a lot of things. I'm very concerned about this whole he'd been missing for a month. He was in a hospital. Can we have the documents, his file from the hospital, the doctor who treated him, the nurses that attended to him in the hospital, and they need to explain why they didn't tell the police that this person is unidentifiable unless if they were already identified him. And if they had not identified him, how come they were not concerned or they didn't take it up with the police? Because usually what happens in a hospital and this person is unidentifiable, you'd expect them to contact the police, and then the police can try their best to find the person, the next of kin. Sometimes the hospital does it themselves, if provided that the person maybe had a phone or had an ID with them. So why wasn't that followed up to find his identity? Because to be in a hospital for a month, it's quite a long time for no action to happen. So I would like to see the receipts that are backing up this whole thing. I'm with Thabo. I'm with Katlego's father on this one. Not
unless the events of things happening were different. Not unless this guy was taken to somewhere and then held there alive, and then sort of aligning now with the 2 days.
The autopsy said 2 days prior.
Yes. And then when the time was sort of convenient for the people that were holding him, then they said, okay, now it's time to take this person out so that we can serve our purpose. And then they maybe did that the following day. Then the following day, they maybe a day or so, and then after that, the following day, they went to deliver the body. That now is a different deal at all, because that's what, according to the autopsy, this would suggest. The person was lost in a month, and then only 2 days, this person was declared as a person who's normal.
He lost his life 2 days prior due to a trauma in the head.
Yes.
So where did that happen? The falling, I can see some people are saying that he fell and then he hurt his head. But if the fall was so bad that it hurt his head and caused blunt force trauma, does it mean that blunt force trauma, he stayed with it for the entire month? And then 2 days prior, it's when he lost his life. Was he at the hospital?
And then it has to do with, so because if he had that trauma, that means he would have known, if he stayed with it for months, he would have known that I'm bleeding. So, doesn't make sense.
For me now, I need the to see the backing up. I need to see the fact, and I wish they would do this with the family.
And then the autopsy,
show them everything.
And the other thing that is most important: where was he hit? At the back or at the top?
Or at the top.
Because that position is also important.
Yes, to determine whether there was a collapse or actually an object was used.
Yes. Because we definitely are fishing now. We are in a because we still need to know
one
if the
thing
body
I've
exists.
seen is that if you are not wealthy in this country, you can forget about getting justice.
Yeah.
And that is what we are trying to help with, to ask important questions. And you guys, if you have questions as well, leave them in the comment section down below, because we'd really appreciate it.
I think what is important right now is to see if the body is there or not there.
Okay.
Because if it's there, then further tests could still be done.
Now, for all the defenders of Dr. Nandipha, you can leave if you are very uncomfortable with such conversations, because Thabo Bester, Dr. Nandipha, as well as Sinohe Matswara and all the co-accused, they have to explain how they orchestrated this young man's demise. They have to explain themselves, okay? They need to explain what happened so that the family knows. And another question I also have, and many people are having right now, is they wonder if, since Katlego loved Facebook, was he lured with it? That's another question that I have.
It's a very interesting question. It's a very interesting question. But so far, we would not know unless someone has access to his Facebook.
To his Facebook. If someone can get access to his Facebook in the family, please go and check, please. And the question now is, did they unalive him for this, or was his body just collected from the morgue after all of these events that the police had happened, saying they have happened? And how come he was unalive 2 days before the fire in Cell 35, since he has been missing from March 2022, and he was found deceased in Thabo Bester Cell? Okay? So Dr. Nandipha has also put her account on private on the Instagram. And last week, I myself, because I was looking for pictures of Dr. Pashy and her, I noticed something, that the pictures were not there anymore, especially pictures where she's pictured with associates.
Yeah.
They are not there anymore. It's just her on the entire Instagram. And the ones where she's posting with friends or acquaintances, all those pictures are gone.
Very interesting, because I also saw that. So now the question is, is Nandipha in access of the account, or someone is doing it on her behalf? Because if that is the case, that person then could be at some point regarded as an accomplice.
Yes. Like, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. We already know what we know. Leave it alone.
Leave
because now you are now tampering with
what could have at some point, with what could help as evidence. So just, we know that you are doing that. We have seen it.
Stop it.
So stop it, because some of these pictures, we have them in any case.
And the journalists have
them.
Have collected the important ones. So it's no point deleting stuff now. So another update is that Dr. Pashy actually opened a case of fraud against Nandipha Makudumana and Thabo Bester over stolen passports. The charges that she has filed are forgery, fraud, and theft, and uttering. So I didn't know what uttering was. And of course, I went to the Google. I was like, so I found out that uttering is a common law crime of dishonesty, whereby a forged document is knowingly used with an intent to deceive. Now, example of this would be that the document that belongs to someone with the intent to defraud. So you're using someone's document with the intention of defrauding. So an example, Bati, if you have made a counterfeit 100 Rand, that would be forgery. If you gave that counterfeit bill or money to a convenience store in exchange for groceries, now that would be considered as uttering. So she's saying that with those passports that Dr. Nandipha had, she was planning on committing fraud using her identity. So Makudumana was found with 2 passports belonging to Dr. Ntani, who is Dr. Pashy, who is also known as Dr. Pashy on social media. So Ntani has denied any involvement in Bester's escape plan. So Dr. Pashy is saying, no, I'm not involved in any of that, escaping and stuff. And the SAPS said that the complaint stated that the pair defrauded her of money. Remember when we covered the Dr. Pashy part of the story the last time? Silindelo Masigani had also heard from a source that there has been exchange of money between Thabo Bester, Dr. Nandipha as well. In fact, they refer to her as the financial muscle. She was the one giving them money, because on her statement she had denied ever receiving money from them, but according to that source, she was the one giving them money.
Yes.
So Dr. Pashy's legal representative confirmed to media houses that a case was opened on Thursday, the 20th of April at Sandton Police Station. Now the question I have is it too late for Dr. Pashy to have opened a case? Or is it never too late? Because right now, I feel, or in my opinion, the pressure is getting to her. The pressure is really, really getting to her, because there was a clip of Minister Motsoaledi, or Dr. Motsoaledi, last week, where Eldrin Sempir of SAFM had conducted an interview with him over the radio, okay? And on this interview, Dr. Motsoaledi said that he suspects that Dr. Pashy is an accomplice of Dr. Magudumana and her partner, because in the affidavit, she stated that she had given her passport to TK Nkwana, aka Thabo Bester, which is literally what most people were feeling like. Most people were like, how do you hand over your passport to somebody to have you? And she was explaining all of the visa that she wants. He said that he was going to make a visa for her. And how do you give the responsibility of applying for a visa or citizenship in the US to somebody else? Why are you not going to the US embassy yourself? Right?
Very interesting. Very interesting. Is a video here?
Yeah, it's there.
Can we play it?
Yeah, please play it, because Dr. Motsoaledi, after it had been a week after Dr. Motsoaledi did this interview with Adrian, and now Dr. Pashy has been advised by legal counsel that, you know what, you should open a case of this and that, forgery, fraud, all of that.
Let us hear.
Well, police have already called there for questioning on Monday, and they wanted to go to a house, and the husband was not happy, and they said no, they'll only agree if they meet at the police station. They met and questioned, so the investigations are going on. And lastly, Aldrin, these IDs, one is lost, the other was given to this person, and it so happened that it's given to the person who has got the one that is lost. I wonder whether you understand what I mean.
Yes.
One is lost. We don't know who it. In fact, she never said it's lost. She said it's stolen. We don't know who stole it. Then she comes later and says, no, this new one you gave me, I've now given to so-and-so. And it so happened that so-and-so, who's Dr. Nandipha, is the one who's carrying even the one that was reported stolen.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly
that's...
that. Then the question is, did maybe such utterances by the minister sort of revoked or sort of made someone aware of, actually, you could be going to jail, do something? That's a question that
we're asking
we
ourselves.
are posing, because maybe because of the people talking about it and thinking, why would you give someone your details willingly? Give them everything willingly.
Your documents, your passport, your very important
Hence,
documents.
the choice of cases that now are open is very also important to say that the storyline of saying that I did indeed give these people my documents. So I now feel that after knowing, I need to open a case because now they were going to use my stuff in the wrong way.
Some people may feel...
Which is preempting in a sense, because have they used them in a sense? Or except that
they were caught with them in Tanzania.
Exactly. But they never used them. That's... Yeah, but let us wait and see and hear.
And I also feel that maybe some people feel like maybe people are too hard on Dr. Pashy, but she's a person who is regarded of high standard in society. She is a doctor.
Yeah, she
and
is.
That is why even Dr. Motsoaledi is reacting and is doing what we are doing as a public, asking these questions, because she's a high regard. She's a doctor. She's not just a person like myself, you know.
Yeah.
She understands these processes. She has traveled all overseas before. So it's not like she didn't know. Right. Which
then begs the question now when we hear things like this as to what is this naivety that we are seeing now all of a sudden? Is it the case of maybe she has never worked overseas, or is it a case of maybe she knew what she was doing? And obviously, we are posing a lot of questions, and then we are looking at the manner in which now she's reacting, which is also now make me feel like someone is advising at the back who kind of understands law to say that you must do this and that to sort of make this thing good. In a sense, those are our own observation and our opinions, and we obviously are not saying that is the case, but we are worried, and we would like to get more answers.
So moving on, Thabo Bester has to find new lawyers because Ishmael attorneys who were representing him in the first court appearance said they have informed him of their withdrawal as his attorneys on record.
Yeah.
So I found this very interesting because we even played the clip, I think, where he was articulating what Bester had wanted to say to the court. I mean, Bester to even dare to say, I need to address the court myself and you have legal representation. It somehow was arrogant. It was an arrogant act to say, you know what, I don't have confidence in this legal attorney that is before me. Why would you want to address the court yourself and yet you hired legal representation?
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see who's coming and what kind of people are they, how do they operate, their rate of actually winning cases, because this one is going to be a long one in my own opinion. And as I said, I didn't have faith that much on this lawyer, because even the way in which Baxter was acting, trying to speak while the lawyer is there. Why don't you trust the lawyer to come and consult with you and do the right thing? So I felt like it was just this lawyer was just used for time being, and then his time has lapsed, and then now obviously the next person is coming who's going to take them to the next levels. That's my thinking, and I did in fact raise it last month. I mean on the last video to say that there is something that, in my own opinion, I don't feel that the guy is there to stay long.
All right. So Newsroom Africa also said that they understand that Bester will rope in new lawyers that previously represented Dr. Nandipha in a related matter. So it looks like he'll be using the lawyers that managed to negotiate a bail for Dr. Nandipha's dad.
Oh.
According to Newsroom Africa. So
it will be very interesting. So there's still connection. There's still collaboration. There's still everything. Then, if that is the case, then that would sort of now put that end of victim to everything, because that means that these people are working together.
So that forever narrative it seems like Dr. Nandipha is still maintaining it. Okay, so it seems that she's hooking her lawyer up with Thabo Bester for representation, and yet we are supposed to be like, oh, she's a victim. I'm not here to be the determiner of that right now. Right now, I'm looking at what I am given, and I'm basing my opinions based off of that. But yes, Ntombo uthi forever yena uzomdefender all the way until if this report coming from Newsroom Africa is actually true. So lastly, also Dr. Nandipha Makudumana's brother Nkosinathi Sekeleni has blasted media houses for claiming that a woman who was seen in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court during his sister and father's court appearances was his mother. He told Times Live that his mother was ill and did not attend the court case on Monday, in which his sister and father are accused of helping convicted to escape from the Mangaung Correctional Facility. He said that it's upsetting to see people saying that his mother was in court when his mother is at home and she can't travel long distances. So the people are referring to is a relative of theirs and not their mother. It would have been nice to elaborate on the relation that this relative has. Is she the cousin or the aunt? We don't know. But he spoke out after seeing images of the woman going viral on social media platforms and after that court appearance. So it seems like he's in his feelings. He's pressed that that lady got so much attention and perhaps a little bit of shine for showing up for Nandipha as well as their father.
Well, that's it. We thank the man for keeping us in line and making sure that everyone understands. And it's good for us to actually now have someone who's correcting and telling us the truth. And thank you guys. Again, tell us what you think. And that's it from us.
All right, that's it. Thank you guys for joining the video. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you. Bye.